Special Google searches. Okay, we've looked at using some basic searches to narrow down our results. Now let's take a look at some of the special Google searches. One of Google's strengths is that it not only indexes web pages, it also indexes the titles and descriptions, and you can use special searches to search for text within different parts of a website. One of my favorite searches is the file type search. Now, as the name implies, it enables you to search for certain file types or file extensions. So if we wanted to search for Microsoft Word documents with the phrase MCSE contained in the website, we could use the following search. Now you might notice that in the results we're not just looking for Word documents that have the name MCSE, but we'll also get URLs that link to Word documents that also have the word MCSE contained in the website. Now if we do want to be more specific and search for only Word documents that contain the word MCSE, then we can also use the in URL search.